Today I'm doing a video that has been requested a lot on my blog, and that is how I do my hair. I have always had a love-hate relationship with my hair, mostly on the hate side because it's super curly, it's really unruly, very frizzy, hard to control, and I hated it growing up as a kid because it was just all over the place and it was a nightmare. I think it was 8th grade, someone introduced me to the Chief flat iron, and that just about changed my life. So I would take a shower at night, let it dry overnight, and then in the morning I would flat iron the heck out of my hair so it would be pinned straight. Then of course I'd go to school in Florida with all the humidity and it'd be a big poof by the end of the day. But I loved that straightener. Then when I moved to New York, I got hooked on going to Dry Bar, where all you do is you go in and you get your hair blow dried and then they style it into perfection. I was obsessed with how smooth they got my hair. I never thought it was even possible for my hair to look like that, and I realized that I needed to learn how to blow dry my hair like a professional. But it took years to perfect. I swear this is the first year where I actually feel like I know what I'm doing with my hair, so I thought I would share some of my tips with you. Okay, this is what my hair looks like wet. I just took a shower. I'm gonna talk about some of the tools that have helped me. And the first was this book that's actually by the founder of Dry Bar. If you can't tell, I'm obsessed. And she basically breaks down the steps of how to actually blow dry your hair. Because for me, the hardest part was figuring out like how to section your hair, how to even just hold the brush, how to hold the blow dryer. I never could figure it out until I saw it broken up step by step in the book. So highly recommend it. I'll definitely leave a link for that below. And now I'll walk you through the different things I use while I blow dry my hair. So the first is just this super simple chip clip. I think I got these from Walgreens or CVS. Obviously a ponytail, a round brush. This was just the cheap one that came with my blow dryer. You can pretty much use anything. Sorry, there's hair in there. That's kind of gross, but I'm a real person. This paddle brush is the Paul Mitchell. I got it on Amazon. I've had it since I was in 5th grade. Had to replace it because Hamilton ate my other one. This is the blow dryer that I use. I bought it at Sephora. It's a T3. Also comes in a pretty white, but I didn't really care about the color, so I just got the black one. And this is the curler I use. It's like a wand, I guess they call it. This is the brand. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how wide this is because it was in millimeters, I think, but it comes with 3 different barrels that you can swap out, and this is the biggest one that it comes with. Don't worry, I'll leave a link below. So after I wash my hair, I let it air dry just a little bit. Normally I'll put on my makeup, which I've already done, or answer a couple of emails before I go to blow dry it, and then I basically just dive right into the blow drying process. So first thing I do is brush it out, which if you have curly hair, you know it's like a big no-no to brush out curly hair because it starts to get frizzy, but when you're getting ready to blow dry, I find that just having like no knots and curls is key. So once all the curls and knots are out, that's when I start to section off my hair. And I basically go take my fingers right over my ears and go all the way back till my fingers meet. And then I have this like really good section to work with here. And I twist the rest of the top up and clip it. So you have this really great mullet. I should be using a heat protector, but I didn't bring any with me today, so just pretend like I put some in. Okay, so working with this section, I just split it down the middle. I hold my brush in my left hand, this is the right side of my hair, and the blow dryer in my right hand. So I start by getting the brush like as close to my root as I can, and just fire away. Okay, so this whole side is done. You can just see like it's smooth and straight, and then there's just a little curl at the end. One thing I was remembering while I was doing this, the biggest trick I've learned is to make sure that as you're pulling this brush down, slightly turn, I'd say it's like about 1/4 of a turn of the brush as you go, and that's gonna help keep the tension on your hair. And then when you get to the bottom, you wanna keep twisting it so you can get the nice rounded curled ends. For the left side of my hair, I switch hands, and this honestly is what takes the most practice, but the more you do it, the better you'll get. So get the brush as close as you can to the root, fire away. Okay, so because this is the section that's underneath all my hair, I don't exactly care if it's 100% straight, but one trick I like to do is to make sure I'm getting this back section, which is the hardest to reach when I'm doing the blow drying, is just to blast it with my blow dryer like this and using my brush to keep straightening it as I comb it out, just to keep straightening it. And the great thing is you can use your fingers to make sure everything is dry, and it really does feel good to go. So it's time for the next section. Okay, so I just take a little ponytail and try to tie it as close to the nape of my neck as I can, and then I pull down the next section. So for this one, I kind of eyeball it, but I pretty much go from like my actual temple. Again, I take my fingers, draw a line until they meet in the back. And then I have a little section to work with, and then clip the rest on top. And then again, you're just going to want to brush the curls out because it's been tied up on your head. Take your brush, get it as close to your scalp as you can get, and go for it again. Okay, and then you switch to the next side, and again, you switch your hands for the tools. And same thing, next section. You could blow dry this as one section, but with the crown of my head, and this is what most people see, I try to be really, really particular about blow drying this, so I section it off again. And I'll save this little bit for last, and section, and final section is the trickiest but most crucial, and it looks a little different than the rest of it. So I take this little chunk and brush it forward as if I had bangs. I'm about to look like Cousin It, so please forgive me. So the first thing I do is take my finger and just get like a little section from the back, like this. Move it so I can see what I'm doing. And with the brush, I basically stick it right where the hair comes out. So I have this like nice surface to work with to blast it dry. Put the blow dryer right at my scalp. It can get a little hot, so be careful. For this section, I actually try to blow dry it as if I have actual bangs, which I don't. It's my regular length of my hair. But I'll put the brush right by my forehead and put the brush right on it, and then just blow dry. And then you basically are just gonna wanna blast the roots because you just dried the ends of it. Take the ponytail out, brush it out one more time. And you have an at-home blowout. So sometimes I just go out with it straight, and one tip I have is that if you aren't gonna style it or straighten it after, just to let your hair rest for 30 minutes, just so that all the moisture is out, because I found that if you even like clip it back to do your makeup or something, you'll get a kink in it. So just like let it rest, let all the extra moisture that's not there leave, and you're good to go. Today I'm gonna show you how I curl my hair, because I also get a lot of questions about that, and that is part of my hair process. So for the curling, it's actually a similar process as the blow drying, where I section off my hair and work in different chunks. And with the wand, you have a lot more flexibility in how you can curl it, but I'm gonna show you my favorite way to curl it currently, which is to leave the ends uncurled. But with the wand, you could really make as tight of curls as you want. You could literally look like Shirley Temple if that's the look you're going for. But here's what I've been doing recently. So I section off my hair again, just above the tips of my ear. Section it into two sections, and then curl one side, curl the other. And I try to curl away from my face, so when I'm on the left side, I'm curling that way, and when I'm on the right side, I'm curling that way. Also gonna wanna brush it out, just like blow drying. With the wand, it's kind of awkward to hold, so you have to figure out what works for you, and it comes with a mitt because you can burn yourself, and I've done it once or twice. It's not fun, but I find the mitt really hard to work with. So I try to work in like bigger chunks because I don't want super tight curls. I want it to eventually like be loose and flowy. And my hair does tend to fall throughout the day, so I like to do it a little bit tighter, knowing it'll loosen up by the end of the day. I hold the wand upside down, basically just twist. And as you can see, I hold about 1.5 to 2 inches of the end of my hair off the wand, so that part doesn't straighten, and I just pull it off. You have a nice little curl. And I start with the next section, same size, twist, 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 and hold. My hair holds a curl really well, so I don't have to hold it that long, but if your hair needs a little bit more time to get the curl, you can hold it just a little bit longer. And then once you have this section, you're just gonna not want to touch it so that the curls can dry completely. And that way they'll last longer. And then I just go to the other side. For some reason, this side is a little bit harder for me, so it's a little bit awkward to do this back section. It's basically what it looks like. It's really uncomfortable. My arms start to hurt. That's just how I get it done. And then once I finish curling one section, I just ponytail it off again so I can let the curls dry and bring down another section. Okay, so then for the top section, I make sure I part my hair exactly where I want my part to go. And I always start on the smaller section, which is this side. I break it up into two. These curls are the most important because they're on top, so I try to make sure it's as flat as it can go against the wand. Start sectioning off your front section. Okay, so now you have this like really awkward looking Shirley Temple look, and you're just gonna wanna keep your hair down and try not to touch your curls as they cool completely. This is the part when you start to look like a very awkward old Shirley Temple, but you're gonna wanna try to not touch your hair and not do anything to it for a while it completely cools and the curls set. This is typically when I will steam the outfit I'm gonna wear for the day, so I'm not having to do anything with my hair, I'm not having to clip it back for my makeup. Just let the curls cool completely. Okay, so I know brushing out curls is a big no-no, but you're gonna wanna experiment with what works for you. Some people might just wanna finger brush out the curls. You might need to use a wide tooth comb. I have done both where I use my fingers just to kind of separate the curls so you don't look like a Shirley Temple, but honestly, I just go in with my paddle brush and break the curls up completely, and that kind of gives me this like nice, wavy, beautiful, kind of like an old Hollywood look, and then as the curls come back together, that's when I get like the pretty waves that I'm looking for. So I kind of use my fingers just to twist the curls back together. But this is basically the final look. Thanks so much for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed how I do my hair. I'm actually off to go to a few meetings. Hopefully my hair will look as good at the end of the day. But if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like if you liked what you saw.